It's the most wonderful time of the year. Not so much. And not for everyone. In co-parenting, this time of the year, the holiday season, can be one of the most stressful times for us. So today I'm going to talk about how you can navigate the holidays as a co-parent and not lose your cool. If you don't know me, I am Dr. Jerry Johnson. I am the creator of Common Sense Co-Parenting. I want to welcome you to my podcast today and say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and whenever you decide to watch this, I am happy to have you here. We started our conversation last week with talking about how you can navigate the holidays with your co-parent. And my mission is to empower parents to be able to navigate the complexities of co-parenting with clarity, compassion, and collaboration, ensuring a nurturing environment that centers on the well-being of the child above all else. And this is why we're having this conversation, because what we want to do is make sure that the holiday season is filled with some peace, filled with some predictability, and filled with some positive memories for our child or our children. And now, last week we started with strategies for how you could navigate the holidays peacefully and calmly. And those strategies started a framework for us as to how we can begin to implement some of the actions that I am going to talk to you about today. Okay, so today we are talking about actions, but I'm going to review the strategies as well that we talked about last week that are attached to them so you can understand what I'm saying. If this is your first time here, then you might want to go back and review some of the previous podcasts where I talk about strategies and actions because that's kind of the format that I use. I like to build the framework first, just like you have a scaffold for a building, right? You build the frame for it, and then you fill in the rest of it. So I'm trying to scaffold it a little bit. That's the educator in me, so that people can understand what you can start with and then what you go and dig a little bit deeper with in order to get to the outcome that you want to get to. So our first outcome or our piece of our framework or our strategy was to start with your child's experience. What I wanted you to do, and the question that I asked you was, what do you want this holiday season to feel like for your child? That was what I asked you to think about with this strategy. Start with what you want the holiday season to feel like for them. And the action that I'm going to ask you to do is to write down three feelings, just three feelings that you want your child to experience this holiday season from November through January, whatever holidays you actually celebrate. If you celebrate no holidays, that's fine too. But the whole thing is that they're going to see other people around them doing this as well. So have a conversation with them about why you don't celebrate the holidays, but there's still some feelings and some things I want to do with you, during this season. I know that other people are doing things, but we can still make this season special as well, right? We're fall going into winter. If you want to celebrate the seasons, you can do that as well. But write down three feelings you want your child to experience during this season. And think about some activities or some experiences that you can provide them. It doesn't have to be things, it doesn't have to be giving them a gift or something like that. It could be experiences. Those are just as important because those are the things that they're always going to remember. A video game or a phone or whatever can break and they have to buy a new one or you have to buy a new one for that, but that experience that they have is going to stick with them for the rest of their life. It's a memory that they're going to have. So write down those three feelings and write down some experiences that you might be able to provide that are might be attached to those feelings. For example, my daughter is 23 now. And when she comes to visit me for the holidays, typically she goes to her dad's for one of the holidays, and either Thanksgiving or Christmas, and she comes here with me for one of the holidays. So one thing that I know that I want her to experience is I want her to have some downtime. I want her to have a brain break. I want her to be relaxed. So what I try to do, it helps me too. I'm not gonna lie, it helps me too. What I try to do is have activities where we can just relax. We don't necessarily have to be going anywhere or doing anything. My daughter and I can sit here and binge watch mindless TV for a while. We can cook together. We can make some drinks together. Like we can, do our nails, or we can make some desserts and things like that. We even thought about, like, this holiday season, making our own charcuterie boards because we love the meat and the cheese and all the fruit and all of that type of stuff. So instead of paying for it, that is relaxing to us. It gives us a chance to talk and whatever, but we're just in the house. All right. That's one of the feelings that I want her to have. She's 23, but she's coming to visit me over the Christmas holiday. So I want to make sure that I give her those experiences. It doesn't have to be super expensive either. So that was the first strategy, was start with your child's experience. And the first action I'm giving you is to write down three feelings that you want your child to have and attach some experiences to those. All right. Now, what I want you to reflect on or think about is, how can both homes reflect these types of feelings? Is there something you can talk to your co-parent about that you may do with your child? Or you may say, well, I'm going to take them here this day. Do you mind taking them here that day? And maybe they can experience these feelings, not just with you, but also within in their home. So how can both homes reflect these feelings that you want your child to have for the holiday season? That's a reflection question. I'm going to throw that in today. And I'm throwing this in because I'm including today in the description for this podcast a calm holiday co-parenting plan for you. Some of these things that I'm going to say today are on there, and some of them are not. I've added a few more things for you to kind of think about and be able to use. So the holiday co-parenting plan is going to be something to help parents kind of have a peace-centered holiday. So I'm trying to reduce the stress, prevent some conflict, and we want to make sure that we're centered on the child's well-being, right? So I'll revisit that at the end of the podcast. So let's go into strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 was to communicate clearly and early. That means like right now. So when you grab this holiday co-parenting plan, then you need to start working through it, because if you haven't communicated or talked about the holidays yet, this is definitely the time to do it. Definitely the time to do it. So this is to help you avoid last minute stress, and it helps you because you're setting expectations now about what the holidays are going to look like. Okay. I have something in front of me that I need to kind of move because it's bothering my line of sight. That's just me. That's me, guys. That's me. I'm a little bit, sometimes it's like OCD-ish, like for real. So So what I ask you to do is use the 3C method, basically. I want you to be clear. I want you to be concise. And I want you to be confirmed in the things that you are saying and you are communicating during this time. So I know that it's difficult, but even if you need to write it down, sometimes I need to write things out. Sometimes I need to record myself saying it. Sometimes I just say it out loud while I'm walking around, my apartment or walking around my walks outside, just to hear how it sounds when it comes, because sometimes when we hear things come out of our mouths, we're like, oh, nah, maybe I need to change that. Or it doesn't come out as confident as we would like it to come out. So the 3C method is for you to be clear, for you to be concise, and for you to be confirmed in whatever it is that you're going to be talking about for the holidays, whatever it is you want to discuss, okay? Even if you're discussing your child's experience. So this is to avoid last minute stress once again, because we can be very last minute. And I'm going to say it again, to set expectations now. So an action to go along with this is I want you to send a message today, no matter when you're looking at this, today, to start the conversation about, hey, like, what were you thinking about doing for the holidays with, let's say, Ash, my child? Well, what were you thinking about doing for Thanksgiving? What were you thinking about doing for Christmas? You can keep it short, keep it respectful, and keep it focused on logistics. Like what actually and when. What and when. Okay. Then you all can agree on 2 holiday peace agreements. Like, are we going to have no negative talk in front of the kids? No last minute changes. Okay. Now, if it's an emergency, yes, it might be last minute. If it's an emergency and something pops up, then yeah, that's fine. But no last minute changes, like just on a whim, I don't feel like doing this. Okay. That might be a conversation. But just send a message and ask, hey, what were you thinking? This is not something that we have to put in place and in stone today, decide right now. But I'm just trying to get a gauge. I'm just trying to figure out what you might be thinking, because I'm thinking about the holidays already. And I want our plans to flow. I want everything to be good for our child. So I'm just trying to plan ahead. And after you have that conversation, another action you can use is to agree on 2 or 3 things that these are like peace agreements. We're going to be peaceful about these things. So especially the no negative talk in front of the children or on the phone where they can hear it, because some of us talk real loud. Some of us talk real loud. Okay. And our kids can hear us talking on the phone because they're in the other room or they're in the car with us or what have. Try to have conversations away from the children if it's going to be something negative, but no negative talk in front of them. And or you could say no last minute changes. It's just really up to you. What do you want? What have you seen in your relationship with your co-parent that this holiday season you like, we just need to cut it out. We just need to cut it. Okay. So our kids or our child can have a peaceful holiday season at least. And once you start this is the thing. Once you start these actions, these are things that you can repeat year after year, and or they can go throughout your year. And it doesn't have to just be the holiday season. You can continue those peace agreements if you wanted to. You can continue to say, hey, what are you thinking about the the break that the kids have coming up, President's Day or, Martin Luther King Day or whatever, for when they're out of school and things like that. So when you start these types of communications with your co-parent, you can continue those. Doesn't have to be just the holiday season. A reflection question I would ask you to think about is, how can you communicate at this time in a way that builds trust and not just tension for everybody? Once again, how can you communicate during this time? This is about you. It's not about your co-parent. Let me say this again. I think I said this last time, that the key idea here for us for the holidays is that we can't control our co-parent. Okay? Only thing you can control is your plan, your tone, and your preparation for this holiday season for your child in your home. Notice I'm saying you, because we cannot control other people. Oh my God, if we could, somebody would always use that superpower for evil. Always, because they do it every day. People use good things for evil every day. So we don't want to be able to control our co-parent, and you cannot control your co-parent. The only thing you can control is you. So think about, how can I communicate in a way that builds trust and not tension? Now, if your co-parent is throwing tension and throwing attitude and all that type of stuff, once again, we talked about this in a previous episode, find your calm. Find a way to calm yourself. If they want to be upset, let them be upset. But this is what I tell people all the time. What folks are not going to do with Jerry is say, Jerry never said. Jerry didn't say. Jerry didn't ask. Use the lie because you're so upset, or because you in such a space where you can't communicate. Oh no. Mm-mm. You will not say, I did not communicate. That's one thing you're not going to do for me. So I say, CYA, cover your, you know what, okay? And do what you need to do on your end, whether they want to be resistant, ignorant, combative, whatever, or not. Find your calm, ask the questions you need to ask, say the things that you want to say, and know and sit in the fact that you've done everything that you can do at this point for your child. And now you are going to do everything that you can do for your child within your locus of control. And you are trying to have this type of calm and peaceful holiday season with your co-parent. All right? Because some people say, well, I can't work with that person. I can't talk to that person. They always this, they always that. My thing is, as long as you are keeping an open mind and you are keeping your peaceful and calm ways and keeping your mind together for your child, that is what you can control, and I will help you stay within that. Okay? Now, after your co-parent sees you doing this and you are consistent with it, many times people will come around to, they're looking at it like, I can't push their buttons. I can't get them to come out of themselves and have this drama and all this type of stuff. When you are consistent in your behavior and your stance, in your tone, in your peacefulness, many times people come around to that. It takes some time because we are all adults and we have ingrained behaviors in us. It takes some time. But in order to keep your mind right, to keep yourself together for your child, this is what you need to do. Okay. So number 2 was communicate clearly and early. I want you to use the 3C method. Be clear, be concise, be confirmed. That means very confident in your communication with your co-parent. Today, you can send a message to start the conversation. Just at least start the conversation. Keep it short, keep it respectful, keep it focused on logistics. That's what day are you doing these things? Or, what are you doing? What day were you planning on doing it? Simple as that for the initial conversation. Or what were you thinking about doing? What day were you thinking about doing it on? That will help you to kind of figure out, do they need to be with them on this day? Should I shift days? Because this is not his week or her week or whatever. Should I shift? It'll get the things turning in your head, the wheels turning, okay? And the wheels turning in theirs, because now they'll know that you are actually planning some things as well. It's not last minute. You're also going to agree on, if you can, 2 peace agreements. For example, no negative talk around the kids, okay? No last minute changes. Once we set this on the calendar, and we're going to go through with it unless there's an emergency. And I want you to reflect on how you can communicate in a way that builds trust and not tension. Okay? All right. The weather around here, y'all, is getting cold, then it get hot, then it get cold, then it get, it's messing with me. So the last strategy that we had was create shared traditions, even apart. So this continuity, we talked about this in number 1 too. How can you both reflect the feelings, both in the same, in separate households? Now I want you to talk about creating shared traditions even apart, because this consistency and this continuity, it brings comfort for your child. So when they know they have traditions at each house, whether you share certain traditions or not, it would be nice if you shared at least one tradition, just like the feelings that you want them to have. But if you don't, that's fine too. But create shared traditions even apart. And for the actions, I want you to kind of agree on 1 to 2, at least one, maybe small tradition that your child can enjoy. Now, if it's in both homes, that's fine. You can do the same tradition in both homes, like I just said. But if it's separate traditions in separate homes, that's fine. But they'll know that this is something that we're probably going to do every year. Now, one example that my daughter and I kind of fell in was that one year we were out. I think we were doing some Christmas shopping, or we were picking up some Christmas decorations from, I think we were at Bed Bath and Beyond or something. And we ran across the gingerbread houses. And my daughter was like, oh, can we make one of these? And da, 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 da. And they have all different kinds of gingerbread stuff now. They not just the houses, they have the barns, they have the sleighs, they have all types of stuff that you can make and decorate. And my daughter and I are kind of artsy. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. That became a tradition every year that we still do now, even though she's grown. Like, if she's here on Christmas Eve, or even if she's with me the day after Christmas, I still buy a gingerbread something for us to like decorate. We don't even eat the thing, y'all. We just love sitting around and decorating the gingerbread thing. Whether it's a house, barn, they have all these little things now. Anyway, so agree on one small tradition your child can have, hopefully in both homes, but you can have it separately in the homes too. And what's so interesting about this, y'all, is let me, I know I'm getting off topic. What's so interesting about this is that my daughter and I do the decorating of the gingerbread stuff. But now, when she is at her dad's house, her stepmom does charcuterie boards. So, in some way, shape, or form, like we're both creating and making things together, not just drinks. But we're both creating and making things together. And that is a tradition that she still looks for, even though she's in her 20s. Like, if she is here for the holidays, which some holidays she's been off because she's in athletic training, she's been off with, like a team or something for the holidays because they have games. And so she didn't always spend the holidays with us in college. But now, if she is with one of us around the holidays, we still have these traditions, even though she's in her 20s. It's so funny. But anyway, a reflection question I would want you to ask yourself within this strategy is, how can I help my child feel connected to both homes this year? That's a big one. Because you know what? We have to step outside of ourselves and think about, how can we help our kids when they are not with us over the holidays, or they're in the other parent's home, if they don't have traditions or things set up that they do. How can I still help with them feeling connected? One thing that one thing that I did for my daughter, as far as like feeling connected to both households, is I was very flexible around the holidays with um, when she went to her father's house. So as she got older, she began to say, Mom, can I just do Thanksgiving with Dad? And can I do just Christmas, Christmas Eve with you? Because when she was smaller, like when she was younger, we would have her at his house for Christmas Eve and my house for Christmas, or my house for Christmas Eve and her. And now she just does the whole holiday with one parent. And she did this. She started asking that as she got older, because she knew that I was very flexible around the holidays with that. And so was her father. He began to kind of fall into what it was that I would do, because her schedule was the way that it was. She had 2 weeks with him and 2 weeks with me during the month. So the whatever way it fell for the holidays, we would both just be very flexible with how that goes, because she was out of school anyway. The 2 weeks and 2 weeks was primarily because to give her consistency for schooling, and where she would be during the week and her routines and things like that, and also give us consistency with our work schedules, because if she was with him for a certain 2 weeks, I would try to make sure to get everything that I needed to get in for myself and work and projects and all that time during that 2 weeks, so that when she was with me for 2 weeks, I would be able to have the flexibility to do what I needed to do for her with sports and, academics and all that type of stuff. Same for her father. If he wanted to take a vacation or I wanted to take a vacation, we would try to schedule it on those weeks that she wasn't with us. Unless she was going with us, then of course we would schedule it on the week that she was with us. So you really have to think about, and I'm gonna have her father on, guys. I'm gonna have my ex-husband on. I'm gonna try to get him on before the end of the year to kind of talk about, so you guys can see kind of how everything worked, and know that yes, we are real people, and this was not something that was easy starting in the beginning. It was not. It took a while for us, some years for us to get to what I talk to you about now, but it was totally worth it, because now my daughter has, a certain routine and things like that, even though she is an adult child. she will always remember how her father's house was, how my house was. These are things that she takes into her relationships now. So, good or bad, I'm just gonna say good or bad because it ain't all 100% good. But these are things that she's always going to remember. So I'm going to have her father on. But we need to think about, let me circle back, how I can help or how we can help our child or children feel connected to the other parent's household as well, to both homes during the holiday season. Because sometimes, and I'm going to say this as a caveat, there were years where I went through 9 layoffs. This is my ninth that I'm going through right now. Okay. I'm not going to say suffer because the Lord has been with me. Everything's been fine. I've never needed to, I've never been unhoused. I've always been able to eat, all of that. So this is my ninth layoff in my career of over 20 something years, 30 years. And there were years where I wasn't able to have the type of holiday season that I may have wanted to have with my daughter, right? But because of the way that her father and I navigated holiday seasons, my daughter probably never knew that, you know? And he would know when I had layoffs and things like that because I might have to move. I might have to downgrade in a car. I might have to, not be able to pay for certain things that I was paying for before. So I would make him aware of these things because I'm like, money is going to be tight, you know? Um, and there's certain things that I can't do right now. So having that amount of communication with him and that level of communication with him and trust was very big for us around the holidays. So if you are a person, excuse me, I'm going to say right now, if you are a person that you are feeling like I can't, you are a parent, not just a person, a parent. You're a parent that you're feeling like I can't do the type of holiday season that I normally did and or would like to do for my child this year, that's totally fine. That's life, okay? If you are comfortable and you trust enough and you can be vulnerable enough to communicate that to your co-parent who may be doing well, who may, my ex-husband has always made more money than me. But there were things that we split and things that, I would handle what I could handle and he would handle what he could handle. So this life, make the holiday season as best of a holiday season for you and your child that you possibly can. And what I'm going to tell you all about children, because I've been working with them over 25 years. Children don't need much. They don't need much. They might want everything in the world, and you want to give it to them because we want to do better for our kids than what's done for us. It's just a progress type of thing that we have in our mind, right? We want them to have a better life than we did. But my thing is this, at our basic needs, we don't need much. It's a lot of crap that we want. And kids don't need nothing. I have seen kids play outside with each other. They don't need the video game. All that type of stuff just makes them sedentary, makes them not mobile. That's, we have a lot of health issues in our kids and stuff now because they're not as mobile as they used to be. They don't play outside. They don't do all of that. But I have seen kids play with a mound of dirt with no no anything else outside to play with. No playground equipment. I'm serious. I've seen it at a school. We were getting new playground equipment. The construction people actually just, I don't know why they did this, y'all. They left a mound of dirt on our playground. Why did they do that? I had to call them people. Do you not understand this is a school? These are kids. Like, these kids literally played in this mound of dirt, y'all. Not throwing dirt at each other, not doing anything bad. They just playing with the mound of dirt, just running up on it, and by the end of the day, the mound that kind of looked like was like this. These babies had a ball. You know, some of them went home super dirty. I had to apologize to parents because the teachers were just, they were having fun. Like they were having fun. I had to give up some uniforms that day too. Super uniforms. But it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't cause any problems. They didn't have their playground equipment. So they were playing games, playing tag, playing dodgeball, playing, but some of them were playing with the mound of dirt. And I'm not getting ready to be no dang on. What are we, the dirt police? They're at school. They're a recess. Let them have fun. Anyway, needless to say, y'all, kids don't need a lot. And if you, once again, have experiences, just like the little gingerbread house, just creating the gingerbread house, baking some cookies, things that you can do in the house, things that you can do around your community that are free or cost very little money. Um, did another experience, last one, that we agreed on, another small tradition, was 3 gifts. Excuse me. 3 gifts. The parents would buy the kids 3 gifts. That's it. If the grandparents wanted to buy whatever they want to buy, they can buy the kids, right? 3 gifts. That's it. Okay. And they weren't super expensive gifts. As they got older, I think I said this before, we started doing family trips rather than gifts over the holidays because we started to feel like the experiences that we could give our child with traveling in the country, out of the country, things like that, would be more advantageous for them in the long run than giving them things that they were going to use for a minute or wear for a minute or whatever, and that's it. Those traveling experiences brought a lot more to them being well-rounded and knowing that there's a bigger world out here. Even if it's a road trip somewhere. Hey, getting on the road and driving these days, very interesting. Very interesting. So, so how can you help your child feel connected in both homes this year? I'm going to circle back. How can you help them feel connected? All right. I think I've talked to you guys a little, a little bit much. A little much. Even though my nasal passages are feeling, I'm feeling good about this conversation, though. I'm feeling good about this conversation. So let's recap. We covered strategies and actions today for you to be able to navigate the holidays with your co-parent without losing your cool. I'm not going to cover all of the strategies and actions because let's talk about my calm holiday co-parenting plan. So In this co-parenting plan for calm holidays, this is kind of like a roadmap to a holiday season filled with peace, predictability, and positive memories for all. Okay. So, in this plan, you will see the 3 strategies and the actions that I just talked about, but you'll see 2 more strategies in there that you can do, and some actions as well. In the co-parenting plan, you will also see a diagram, kind of like a graphic that you can use and you can fill in for how to plan out, like your visitation and things like that. I also put some ideas in there for what I did in red. You'll see that in red, and then you'll see the rest of the print in black. But go through this plan, man. Just look through it, just glance through it, see if there's anything that can help you for creating a plan for a calm and peaceful holiday with your co-parent and your children or your child. So this is going to help you hopefully have a peace-centered holiday that will reduce some stress. And hopefully it will prevent also like some conflict between you and your co-parent, and it'll center on your child's well-being. So be sure to look in the description. If you download it, be sure to subscribe and like this video. So when I start giving out other things, you'll be able to access them. And I hope that you guys have, I promise on the next episodes, I'm going to have a guest. And I'm going to try to get my ex-husband on here before the end of the year. But I hope that you guys have, by the time I talk to you again, it will be holiday time. So give me some comments about how everything goes. If you use the plan, or if you take a part of it, or if you take any advice, please let me know, because I always love to see, good or bad, how I can improve upon the materials that I'm going to be giving you, or number one, what actually works for you, because then once again, I could still always make some improvements or keep it the same for when I do it again. All right. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great beginning of your holiday season. I will see you at the end of this month, and go out there and co-parent with purpose.